Utah. Loan officer Angie Hirsch starts work on a Saturday morning.
Very quiet time. I had just opened the store, was getting ready for the day. Next thing I know, out of nowhere, someone is on top of me, knocking me, pushing me over, and pushing a gun into my face.
The 6'5" attacker jumps a counter and sticks a pistol in Angie's face.
And I knew from that point on that it was a life and death situation.
He brutally wrestles her to the floor safe.
Finally, he said, "Where's the money?" I said, "I need the keys, they're on the counter." He nervously reached up, grabbed the keys. From that point on, very carefully explained to him, okay, now I'm putting the key in the safe. I'm now punching the code. I'm now opening the safe. I'm reaching in and getting the money. And I hand him the bag of cash.
He's got the money. He wants something more.
He said, "Where's the bathroom?" I thought he was taking me down to the bathroom to rape me and then kill me.
Her life is in jeopardy. Angie must think fast.
I said, "If you take me down this hall, there are people down there who are going to get caught."
The gunman falls for it, but he proceeds with his plan to tie her up.
And I pushed the tape off my mouth, and it worked. And he kind of tried to put it back on my mouth and my eyes, and I pushed that away. And I'd squirm and I'd wiggle and tell him I'm scared and please don't hurt me. And it seemed to be getting him more frustrated and more scared.
Suddenly, the phone rings. And something incredible happens.
And it was my husband calling to check to see if I'd made it to work okay. He went over to the telephone and yanked it out of the wall. But of course, it didn't get yanked out of the wall, it just came unhooked. And so from that point on, my poor husband could hear everything that was going on.
All I could hear in her voice was her saying, "Please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me." It truly was the scariest moment of my life. She's all I had.
Cy doesn't need to hear any more.
I got on my cell phone and called 911 immediately, and then basically took off to the store to try to help her.
The gunman's plan is falling apart.
And it was at that point the attacker, I think, was just unnerved to the point where he just picked up the money bag and took his gun and his duct tape and walked out.
Angie makes sure he's gone. Then she calls for help.
911 emergency. Yes, hi. I'm just getting robbed by a man. Okay, keep on the line with me. We've got an officer on the way. I want you to lock your front door. He was wearing a yellow sweatsuit. He was like okay, calm down and let's get information. They're going to come help you. I think he could possibly be one of our customers that I gave money to not too long ago.
While cops speed toward her, Angie does some police work of her own.
I knew I had seen the suspect before. He had actually come to our store 3 days earlier to get a loan, and at that time given us a lot of his personal information.
Angie frantically scours her customer database. When police arrive, she hands them the suspect's file.
They actually beat him back to his house.
Cy rushes in minutes later, overcome with relief.
When I saw her walk to me and give me a hug, that's all that I could have hoped for.
Angie kept her cool under fire. It probably saved her life.
Fear can be a good thing. Fear can make you think more clearly. Fear can help you focus, and that's what it did.
Scandinavia. An aircraft is coming in ahead of schedule at an airstrip for gliders. The ground crew hurries to clear the runway. There's not much time. And then, time runs out. Touches down, then swerves. its terror on the tarmac. One person tumbles in its path. Another is slammed by the wing. And though it's on the ground, the glider isn't stopping. Others run from wings that spin like heavy blades. Finally, the plane is wrangled. The glider enthusiasts believed all the risks of powerless flight were in the air. Today, they discovered that it can be just as hazardous right here on Earth. Chicago, Illinois. Cold weather emergency. As temperatures plunge below -15, an abandoned building burns. Seeking shelter from the deadly cold, a group of homeless men had started a small fire on the 3rd floor. It quickly spreads out of control. Veteran firefighter Frank Cambria has never fought a fire this hot on such a cold night.
The smoke and fire of this building was so hot and so intense that companies had to be backed off because the apparatus were melting.
But they're battling fire and ice. It's so cold, the hose connections are frozen solid. A crewman grabs a blowtorch in a desperate effort to keep the water flowing. It works. Suddenly, Frank makes a terrifying discovery.
I just happened to look up towards the middle of the building, and I thought I saw a silhouette of a hand come out the window.
One of the homeless men is still trapped inside. To reach him, Frank has to climb onto the icy roof of an adjoining building.
I was going to wait for a ladder to be placed down there so I can climb down and climb back up safely. I just didn't think I had time. So I decided to descend. I slid down on my butt.
Frank gets to the window. He finds the terrified man covered in frost and soot. Firefighters have only seconds to get him down.
I'm thinking I can't get out of here fast enough. As soon as we got out on the roof, that whole 2nd floor came down.
It's a slow, treacherous descent. Frank is on the verge of collapse.
Going down the ladder, I was thinking, I am so tired that I hope somebody's there to help me down that ladder. Because on the video you can see I'm just spent.
Never has Frank been so glad to be back on solid ground. This man tried to keep from freezing to death. He came close to burning alive.
Coming up, a rampaging bull swings and gores a helpless rider. And a BMX rider's high-flying stunt launches him face first into the pavement. Plus, a race car crashes and erupts in flames. Can the driver possibly get out in time? When the world's most amazing videos continues.